Hey there guys, this is Richard, your host, with another marvelous video. Excelsior! Maniacs of the Multiverse. As we all know, the rivalry between DC and Marvel fans has been around for decades. Still, that hasn't prevented these comic book giants from occasionally teaming up to bring us exciting crossover stories. Throughout the years, they've joined forces to give us thrilling adventures featuring the most iconic superheroes. Today, we'll delve into the various tales that have showcased both DC and Marvel characters, and I've got the golden tickets for this trip. Everyone's invited to the ultimate fuel. Before we begin, we have a small request. If you like our content, please subscribe to our channel. It's a small click from you, but it means a lot to us. Thank you. The handshake. In the pre-VHS era, enjoying MGM's The Wizard of Oz at home was challenging without a Super 8 copy or waiting for TV broadcasts. This dilemma prompted the idea of a comic book adaptation. Recognizing its business potential, Marvel and DC both ventured into Wizard of Oz comics, albeit with different approaches. DC, owned by Warner Brothers, secured rights to the MGM film, while Marvel based its comic on the public domain work of Frank L. Baum. As Marvel's comic production advanced, it was deemed very much possible that profitability of both companies would be hindered. Stan Lee discovered DC's parallel project and sought collaboration with DC's Carmine Infantino. They reached an agreement, resulting in an 82-page oversized comic titled Marvel and DC Present MGM's Marvelous Wizard of Oz, using the iconic characters and stories. With this success, DC and Marvel teamed up for Superman vs. the Amazing Spider-Man, 1976. In a groundbreaking collaboration between DC and Marvel, the iconic superhero Superman and Spider-Man joined forces in the epic The Battle of the Century. This story was supposed to take place in crossover Earth 7642. Crafted by Jerry Conway and Ross Andru, the story saw the malevolent alliance of Lex Luthor and Dr. Octopus scheming for global dominance. In Metropolis, Superman battled a colossal robot under Luthor's control, overcoming a momentary setback caused by a red sun-based laser. He ultimately defeated Luthor and incarcerated him. Meanwhile, in New York, Spider-Man thwarted a gang linked to Dr. Octopus during a museum heist, leading to a fierce showdown that resulted in Octopus's arrest. The villains' paths converged in a New Mexico prison, where they plotted their escape. The heroes encountered each other during a world news conference, but were defeated by a foe Superman who kidnapped Lois Lane and Mary Jane. Realizing the ruse, the heroes tracked the villains across various locations, culminating in a climactic battle on a satellite. Superman faced a tidal wave while Spider-Man confronted the villains. In the end, both heroes prevailed, capturing the villains and averting catastrophe. Superman and Spider-Man, 1981. In this narrative, written by Jim Shooter and Marv Wolfman and drawn by John Buscema, Doom initiate Project Omega by using a specialized microtransmitter to lure the Hulk to Metropolis, Superman's hometown on Earth 7642. This led to a destructive clash between the Hulk and Superman. While Spider-Man was unable to provide assistance, Superman managed to disable the beacon and pacify the Hulk. However, the Hulk's rampage inadvertently released the parasite from Star Labs. Superman deduced that Dr. Doom was the mastermind behind these events and confronted him in Latveria. Unfortunately, he was ambushed and forced to retreat. Meanwhile, Dr. Doom captured Wonder Woman, but Spider-Man managed to track her down. It was eventually revealed that once the Omega installations worldwide went online, they'd render all fuel sources useless. Dr. Doom's plan involved using the parasite to absorb the powers of Superman, the Hulk, and Wonder Woman, ultimately resulting in the parasite's demise. However, this process would transform the parasite's remains into a unique crystal that would serve as the core of Doom's energy reactor, granting him exclusive control over the world's energy supply and making him its monarch. In the climactic battle, Superman and Spider-Man combined their intellect and physical prowess to disable Doom's Omega machine and capture the parasite. Hulk and Wonder Woman were freed from the predicament. Nonetheless, Dr. Doom managed to escape to Latveria, exploiting diplomatic immunity. DC Special Series number 27, Batman vs. the Incredible Hulk, 1981. This story was written by Len Wein and drawn by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Set in Earth 7642, Bruce Banner worked at Wayne Research on a gamma gun to cure his Hulk transformations and faced a threat when the Joker, with a mysterious ally, targeted the gun. During the heist, Banner became the Hulk and Batman intervened. The Joker manipulated the Hulk into attacking Batman, who eventually subdued him. The Joker escaped with the gamma gun, and Bruce Wayne offered Banner a job overseeing its replacement. The Joker aimed to use the gun on the Shaper of Worlds, who had lost his dream-absorbing powers, promising immense power. However, the gun malfunctioned, leading the Shaper to send the Joker to find Banner for repairs. A fake military team triggered Banner's transformation into the Hulk. The Shaper pitted the Hulk against a monster, accidentally restoring his powers. The Joker enlisted Batman's help to locate the Hulk, and they convinced him to go with the Joker. They confronted the Shaper, uncovering the Joker's true agenda. The Hulk's anger cured the Shaper and restored his powers, and he departed Earth, granting the Joker incredible abilities. However, the Joker's mind couldn't handle the power, rendering him unconscious. In the end, the Joker was incapacitated, and Banner remained unable to cure the Hulk. The Uncanny X-Men and the New Teen Titans #1, 1982. Chris Claremont wrote the tale, while Walt Simonson handled the artwork. In that narrative, on Earth 7642, the malevolent space tyrant Darkseid strove to harness the boundless power of the Source. He endeavored to breach the Source wall, believing that the Phoenix Force's energy could aid his quest. To achieve this, Darkseid orchestrated a plan to recreate the Dark Phoenix. He tapped into the memories of Jean Grey's former comrades, the X-Men, and extracted traces of her power from various sources. These remnants were then amplified using energy from the rupture in the Source wall, facilitated by Metron's sacrifice. Both the Titans and the X-Men, alerted to the impending threat by Starfire, were captured by Deathstroke and Darkseid's forces. Darkseid revived the Dark Phoenix, and a climactic battle ensued. Colossus disrupted the psionic residue gathering, causing a flaw in the Dark Phoenix simulation, allowing the teams to separate her from Darkseid. Professor X and Cyclops freed Jean Grey's human consciousness, and she sacrificed herself again to defeat Darkseid and repair the damage. Darkseid became a part of the Source wall, while Metron attained his sought-after goals and returned home. Batman, Punisher, Lake of Fire, 1994. Written by Dennis O'Neil and drawn by Barry Kitson, this tale unfolds within the Batman Night Quest saga on Earth 7642. In this narrative, Jean-Paul Valley assumed the mantle of Batman to track down Cass Reimer, a Pentagon formula theft suspect, by following the trail to Reimer's associate, Tony Bresci. Simultaneously, the Punisher arrived in Gotham on a mission to pursue Jigsaw. Following a barroom brawl, he learned of Jigsaw's whereabouts at St. Ludger's Church. There, the Punisher fell into a perilous fire, from which Batman rescued him. They formed an alliance with the aim of apprehending Jigsaw and Bresci, as well as recovering the stolen rocket fuel formula. However, Batman had intended to pursue the Punisher once the mission was complete. At Minsk Baths, they subdued potential buyers, and Batman sought guidance from St. Dumas, but the Punisher vanished. Later, Batman confronted Reimer at the Kochman building, uncovered a reservoir bomb, and hurried to disarm it. Meanwhile, the Punisher confronted Jigsaw, throwing him off a rooftop. Batman swooped in to save Jigsaw, immobilizing him. Subsequently, the Joker liberated Jigsaw, leading to a confrontation between Batman and the Punisher, who eventually slipped away. Batman attempted to contact St. Dumas without success and departed the scene. Punisher, Batman, Deadly Nights, 1994. Crafted by Chuck Dixon and illustrated by John Romita Jr., this tale unfolds in the aftermath of Batman, Night's End on Earth 7642. The narrative kicks off with the Punisher engaging Luke Tango's crew in a Gotham paint factory, triggering a massive explosion that caught Batman's attention. Batman intervened, but the Punisher managed to escape. It was later revealed that Jigsaw had surfaced in Gotham, having undergone facial reconstruction surgery thanks to his new partner, the Joker. Together, they aim to eliminate Jimmy Navarone and seize control of his criminal empire. As Batman and the Punisher scoured Gotham, Robin and Micro operated from their respective bases, attempting to hack into Jimmy Navarone's files. Eventually, they caught up with Jimmy, but he came under a simultaneous attack by Jigsaw and the Joker. In a climactic showdown, the Punisher disfigured Jigsaw once more. Batman subdued Jigsaw, while the Punisher pursued the Joker with the intent to kill him. However, Batman intervened in the nick of time, granting the Joker an opportunity to escape. Frustration led the Punisher to strike Batman, but Batman quickly incapacitated him, warning that any return to Gotham would result in confinement in Arkham. In the end, Batman departed, and the Punisher opted to leave Gotham as well. Darkseid vs. Galactus, The Hunger, 1995. Penned and illustrated by John Byrne, this tale predates the Silver Surfer's initial appearance on Earth 7642. The new gods congregated on New Genesis in response to a warning from the Source World, hide the world. This message arose because the Herald of Galactus, the Silver Surfer, sought a world rich in life energy to satiate his master's hunger. The new gods concocted elaborate schemes to shield their world, making it seem as if their realm had perished. When the Silver Surfer arrived on Apokolips, he faced an assault from parademons. Still, he managed to send a signal to Galactus. Galactus landed and began constructing a device to consume their planet, tearing through Darkseid's automatons like a tempest. Orion joined the fray, aiming to prevent Apokolips's destruction. Orion was severely beaten by Surfer, but Desaad's machine restored the Surfer's memory of his identity and homeworld, and he stopped fighting. Overwhelmed by emotions, the Surfer saved Orion from the Black Racer, and a mother box repaired Orion. Galactus wiped the Surfer's memories again and activated his devices. However, he found no life energy on Apokolips, as it was devoid of it. In surprise, he inquired why Darkseid waged war. Darkseid explained that, even as gods, they were bound by their duties. Galactus concurred, acknowledging their servitude to their inherent natures, and departed from Apokolips. Spider-Man and Batman, Disordered Minds, 1995. This story was authored by J.M. DeMatteis and drawn by Mark Bagley. In this story, set in Earth 7642, Spider-Man teamed up with Dr. Ashley Kafka to address Carnage's mental issues at Ravencroft Institute. Despite their high-tech security, Carnage escaped and battled Spider-Man, only to be subdued by microwave guns. Dr. Kafka realized that Cletus Cassidy's mind held the key to controlling the symbiote. Cassandra Breyer, a behavioral psychologist, arrived with a controversial plan to implant a biotechnic chip in Cassidy. Despite objections from Spider-Man and Dr. Kafka, the procedure went ahead. In Gotham City, Batman thwarted the Joker's venom-infected bat scheme. Later, Breyer used the same chip to pacify the Joker. However, Carnage seized a chance to escape, taking the Joker and Breyer hostage. At the Joker's hideout, a rift developed between Carnage and the Joker, with the former favoring direct mass murder. The Joker triggered an explosion, trapping Carnage inside. Batman and Spider-Man pursued Carnage but fell into a trap. Then, Carnage captured Batman, and the Joker intervened, planning to unleash his Joker virus. However, Batman finally subdued Carnage and Spider-Man thwarted the Joker, saving the day. The hero silently expressed gratitude through a handshake, with Spider-Man returning to New York and Batman continuing his watch over Gotham. Green Lantern, Silver Surfer, Unholy Alliances, 1996. This story was written by Ron Marz with art by Darryl Banks. In a different universe, Cyborg Superman destroyed a populated planet to rebuild Warworld. The Silver Surfer confronted him, but Parallax, from a parallel universe, intervened, seeking retribution for Coast City's destruction. Silver Surfer learned their origins and empathized with Hal Jordan's loss. Parallax persuaded Silver Surfer to help set things right. Meanwhile, Kyle Rayner got into a fight when Terrax terrorized a park. Thanos intervened and sent Terrax back, then sought Kyle's aid to save their universes from Parallax. Thanos revealed a weapon against Hal Jordan, using Kyle's power ring. Parallax and Silver Surfer restored Oa and Coast City, but Thanos drained all the energy and destroyed everything they built. Kyle explained the situation, and Silver Surfer and Green Lantern united to drain Thanos and Parallax. The rift between realities began to close, and Silver Surfer and Thanos returned home. Kyle returned to Earth with a new perspective, and a cosmic box started to glow in an alleyway. Batman and Spider-Man, New Age Dawning, 1997. Crafted by J.M. DeMatteis and illustrated by Graham Nolan, the story began on Earth 7642 with a distraught Wilson Fisk, who was fervently seeking a remedy for the cancer that had affected his beloved wife, Vanessa. Talia paid Fisk a visit, offering a cure for his wife in exchange for unobstructed passage of raw shipments into New York. She disclosed her father's grand plan to orchestrate earthquakes and floods, intending to submerge New York and the rest of the world, only to emerge as its supposed savior. Batman and Spider-Man uncovered this diabolical plot while surveilling Fisk. Eventually, Fisk succumbed to the offer and escorted Vanessa to Ra's hideout. There, Ra's unveiled that Vanessa's ailment stemmed from a virus created by his henchmen and offered a cure if Fisk joined him on his quest. Fisk reluctantly accepted, recognizing the sinister parallels between them. Subsequently, Ra's instructed Fisk to activate bombs via a satellite, but their scheme was thwarted by Spider-Man and Batman, who destroyed their satellite. It was revealed that Fisk had tipped off the heroes about the hideout, as he resented being manipulated. Although they refrained from confronting Ra's in his sanctuary, they returned empty-handed, realizing that there was no cure for Vanessa's ailment. However, in a surprising turn of events, Talia dispatched an antidote to Batman, who passed it to Spider-Man, and it was eventually delivered to Fisk to heal Vanessa. DC vs. Marvel, 1996. Written by Ron Marz and Peter David, and drawn by Dan Jurgens and Claudio Castellini, this grandiose battle tale was unveiled in 1996 across 4 installments. The initial 2 were published by DC, and the subsequent pair by Marvel. A total of 11 clashes took place, with the results of 6 encounters being scripted by the creative teams, while the outcomes of the remaining 5 were determined through readers' votes. Round 1, DC vs. Marvel. Number 1. In a Manhattan alley, a mysterious box began emitting a strange light that eventually spread throughout Marvel's Earth 616 and DC's New Earth. Anyone touched by one of its beams would vanish, only to reappear in a parallel universe. The beams were targeting superheroes and villains from the 2 universes in particular. Axel Asher, a civilian from Earth 616, encountered a homeless man trying to fix the box from which the warp light emanated. Spider-Man was struck by one of these beams, transporting him to DC's Gotham City, where he crossed paths with the notorious Joker. Similarly, Juggernaut found himself in DC's Metropolis, where he provoked the ire of Superman. Both realms grappled with these peculiar occurrences, with heroes and villains adapting to their new surroundings and confronting unfamiliar foes. Reporter Clark Kent discussed these bizarre events with his photographer, Ben Reilly, but they both concluded that these phenomena were beyond mortal comprehension. However, neither the Spectre nor the Living Tribunal could fathom the disruptions in their respective universes. Elsewhere, the brothers reached out to each other across the void between realities. Round 2, DC vs. Marvel, number 2. Axel was unexpectedly transported to an unfamiliar universe, where law enforcement officers from both New York and Gotham City emerged to assist him. He managed to resolve the situation, only to discover Wolverine engaged in a battle with Killer Croc. Meanwhile, Access stumbled upon that mysterious box and the enigmatic stranger in an alleyway, while numerous characters from both universes confronted each other. It was revealed to everyone that after eons of dormancy, the tangible representations of the DC and Marvel comic book universes, commonly referred to as the Brothers, stirred from their slumber and gained consciousness of each other's presence. The Red Brother, known as Lord Marvel, and the Blue Brother, known as Lord DC, harbored a longing to reunite and restore wholeness to their distinct universes. Recognizing the perilous consequences that could arise from their conflict, they chose characters from each universe to partake in battles to decide the fate and preservation of their respective realms. The homeless man, Morty, explained to Asher that the brothers lost part of their beings in the Big Bang. Those parts, or shards, sometimes manifested in the form of artifacts, like the box, and sometimes as living beings as himself and Axel. The heroes faced off with each other. Thanos crossed paths with Darkseid. Storm engaged Wonder Woman. Nightwing faced off against Gambit. Captain America bested Bane. Robin encountered Jubilee, and Batman confronted the Lizard. Thor and Captain Marvel engaged with each other. Aquaman fought Namor. Flash fought with Quicksilver, and the future of the two universes hung in balance. Round 3. Marvel vs. DC. Number 3. Jubilee's love life became complicated as she had to confront her new lover Robin, who defeated her in battle. Other battles unfolded as Green Lantern was defeated by Silver Surfer, Catwoman was defeated by Elektra, and Spider-Man took on Superboy. Lois Lane, engaged to Clark Kent, encountered Ben Reilly, who was posing as Peter Parker, and was pursued by J. Jonah Jameson to cover the Hulk's battle with Metallo. In an alley, Axel Asher learned of his role as Access, the guardian of the gateway between universes, from Morty. While Wolverine defeated Lobo, Storm defeated Wonder Woman. Spider-Man defeated Superboy and Superman defeated Hulk. Batman and Captain America faced off with each other but later decided to join forces. They met Access and Access hid the shards of the different universes in them. Once the battles concluded, Marvel was a clear winner, but neither universe was willing to submit and get annihilated. As such, the brothers became one, settling the competition in their own way and creating a new Amalgam Earth. In the Marvel Universe, the Amalgam Earth was designated as Earth 9602, and in the DC Omniverse, it's Earth 496. Round 4. Marvel vs. DC. Number 4. Amalgamated heroes with converged backstories and origins began to exist. It was revealed by Morty, the Old Guardian, that it was not the brothers, but the Spectre and Living Tribunal who joined forces in the final-ditch effort to merge two universes to stop the elimination of one, and they were holding the Amalgamverse together. Access successfully retrieved the reality shards concealed within Dark Claw and Super Soldier. Assisted by the Spectre and the Living Tribunal, he split the Amalgam universe into its original dual components. Despite this division, the two universes continue to overlap and to be at war, leading the brothers to opt for a direct confrontation to resolve their conflict. During their catastrophic battle, which posed a dire threat to existence itself, Access, Batman and Captain America intervened. Regrettably, their courageous endeavors were in vain, and the brothers annihilated this valiant trio. However, in their waning moments, the brothers caught glimpses of the unique histories of both Batman and Captain America. These glimpses reignited their admiration for the splendor and bravery of their creations, prompting an abrupt end to their discord. They exchanged congratulations and concluded their battle. Then they reinstated the universes to their normal states, rectifying all the damage wrought. Although harmony was restored, Access grappled with his knowledge of these events. Embracing his unwavering quest for the unknown, he decided to eschew this knowledge and journey once more into uncharted realms. Amalgam Universe, Wave 1. 1996. Even after the Amalgam Universe's dissolution, DC and Marvel made a joint decision to establish a shared imprint named Amalgam Comics, through which they'd publish titles featuring characters melded from their respective universes. DC launched 6 issues, while Marvel released an additional 6. Let's delve into this amalgamated universe, my maniacs. DC Comics, Amazon number 1. This story was written by Ran Mars and drawn by Jackson Geiss, where Aurora Monroe was saved by Queen Hippolyta of the Amazons from a shipwreck that was devised by Poseidon. Aurora's parents died in the wreck, but she survived. Raised alongside Hippolyta's own daughter Diana, Aurora grew up as an Amazon princess on Themyscira. As Aurora matured, her ability to manipulate weather emerged, and the Amazons taught her to concentrate her powers into a lightning lasso capable of compelling truth from its captives. Eventually, she left her island sanctuary to venture into the world of men as an Amazon, utilizing her abilities to aid others. Throughout the years, Amazon continued her crusade for justice while concealing her meta-mutant identity. She eventually met Poseidon and made him realize that Poseidon had sunk their ship as he thought her father's friend Professor Malcolm had stolen from the guards, but instead it was a way to ensure that gods were remembered by mortals. With Poseidon regretting his heinous act, Amazon prayed for the peace of the souls departed. DC Comics Assassins #1. This story was authored by Dan Chichester and illustrated by Scott McDaniel. In the urban sprawl of New Gotham, a formidable presence known as Fisk reigned as the ultimate crime lord, carrying the moniker of the Big Question. He held dominion over the criminal underworld, driven by an intriguing compulsion to undermine his own successes. Deliberately leaving behind enigmatic clues about his forthcoming actions, Fisk provided heroes like Dare with vital warnings, enabling them to navigate the treacherous traps and intricate plots orchestrated by the Big Question. He also exercised control over New Gotham City's Arkham Tower, symbolizing the chaotic bureaucracy at his fingertips. For an extended period, Fisk relentlessly pursued Dare the Terminator, even resorting to implanting 2 horns into her skull, endowing her with an appearance resembling a devil. To achieve his goal of restoring his political reputation and gaining the trust of New Gotham's community and media, he enlisted the aid of Cat's Eye and Dare in an assassination plot against Dare. Yet, following the apparent elimination of Dare, Fisk faced a brutal retaliation from Cat's Eye, who subsequently exposed his machinations to Jimmy Urich of the Gotham Bugle newspaper. The revelation effectively spelled the end of Fisk's tenure in office. DC Comics Doctor Strange Fate #1. Crafted by Ron Mars and brought to life by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, this narrative unfolded as Abominable's attempt to capture Access fell short. Doctor Strange Fate then tasked his underlying mix with assembling a team, consisting of Skulk, Jade Nova, and the White Witch, to seize and deliver Access to him. The team staged an ambush, but Access managed to evade them, teleporting from one location to another. While Skulk and Jade Nova proved unsuccessful, the White Witch successfully incapacitated Access using her magic and handed him over to Strange Fate. Strange Fate bound Access with his magic, expressing concerns about the threat Access posed to Strange Fate's Amalgam universe. Strange Fate's intention was to extract the shards he believed Access possessed. However, Access had concealed these shards within Batman and Captain America, eluding Strange Fate's discovery and making his escape. A startling revelation followed. Strange Fate was, in fact, Charles Xavier, driven by a desire to preserve his Amalgam universe. Realizing Access's escape marked a dire setback, he comprehended the futility of his efforts. DC Comics JLX #1. Penned by Gerard Jones and Mark Waid, with artwork brought to life by Howard Porter, this Amalgam saga began with the Mariner falling victim to a nefarious frame-up orchestrated by Will Magnus. Consequently, he found himself ensnared by S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Judgment League Avengers. In response, Mr. X assembled a team of meta-mutants, including Apollo, Runaway, Nightcreeper, Firebird, Mariner, Wraith, and Mercury, to orchestrate a daring rescue. After a successful mission, the JLX were relentlessly pursued by the JLA, leading to a fierce confrontation. Despite contending with formidable adversaries like Captain Marvel, Super Soldier, Angel Hawk, Canary, Goliath, Hawkeye, and Dark Claw, the JLX managed to slip away, aided by a distraction from the secret metamutant Angel Hawk. Upon their arrival in Atlantis, the team was shocked to find the once prosperous city in ruins. Their clash with Will Magnus and his Sentinels, robotic hunters of metamutants, escalated into a fierce battle. In the midst of the conflict, Mr. X unveiled his true identity as a Skrull named Jean Johns and prevailed against the Sentinels. DC Comics Legends of the Dark Claw #1. In this story, penned by Larry Hama and brought to life by Jim Balance illustrations, Dark Claw pursued Hyena to a Gotham printing press with the aim of subduing his nemesis. However, their battle was disrupted by Hyena's henchmen, allowing the villain to escape. Dark Claw's sidekick Sparrow came to his rescue, and they regrouped to plan their next moves. Meanwhile, Carol Danvers, aka Huntress, infiltrated Logan Wayne's loft in search of Creed H. Quinn, the Hyena. While snooping, she stumbled upon Dark Claw's costumes, revealing his true identity. A confrontation unfolded, but they eventually engaged in conversation. Logan shared his origins as a product of an experiment along with Creed, and revealed his crime-fighting headquarters, the Barrow. Initially unsettling to Sparrow, this revelation prompted the trio to investigate clues left by Hyena at the Gotham Gazette, leading them to AF1 and NaCN, symbolizing Air Force One and sodium cyanide, a deadly poison. They raced to Air Force One, thwarting Hyena's assassination attempt. Dark Claw ejected Hyena and the toxic gas, saving the day with Sparrow's assistance. DC Comics Super Soldier #1. In this tale, crafted by Mark Waid and vividly brought to life through Dave Gibbons illustrations, the story began with the discovery of an alien spacecraft crash. The US Army extracted a serum from the deceased extraterrestrial with the aim of creating a super soldier for World War II. Their initial test subject, 4F volunteer Clark Kent, successfully underwent the serum treatment, acquiring extraordinary abilities like flight and super strength, becoming a super soldier. He joined forces with news reporter Jimmy Olsen, battling the Nazis and contributing to the Allied victory. However, the Third Reich unveiled a secret weapon, Ultra Metallo, leading to a fierce confrontation over the Atlantic, with both adversaries ending up submerged in icy depths. Many years later, Hydra kidnapped and aged Jimmy Olsen, led by the Green Skull, formerly Lex Luthor, who discovered Super Soldier's return and growing vulnerabilities. To eliminate the hero, the Green Skull resurrected Ultra Metallo. Super Soldier confronted Ultra Metallo in Washington, D.C. During their intense battle, Luthor revealed the secret behind Super Soldier's weakening powers, attributed to K-radiation fallout from Luthor's K-bomb, which affected only Super Soldier while empowering Ultra Metallo. Super Soldier realized that lead shielded him from the deadly radiation, allowing him to deactivate Ultra Metallo and expose Luthor's true nature. Marvel Comics, Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Number 1. Crafted by Chuck Dixon and brought to life by Carrie Nord's illustrations, the narrative followed Selena Luthor, aided by Baron Zero, Nuke, and Deathlock, while she orchestrated a coup to kill her father Green Skull and proclaimed herself as Hydra Supreme. Colonel Bruce Wayne, along with Huntress and Moonwing, prepared for the impending battle and received jetpacks from Stark Labs, courtesy of Tony Stark. The story revealed that before his demise, the Green Skull had activated the Planet Smasher program, giving him control of the Terror Cannon, a doomsday weapon. A fierce battle unfolded between S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra, with Moonwing facing Deathlock, who was taken down by Fury and Sergeant Rock. Bruce confronted Nuke and outsmarted him, pushing his venom levels to the limit. Bruce defeated Selena, but she couldn't deactivate the weapon. An enormous explosion was witnessed from above by Fury and Rock, who believed that no one could have survived. From afar, an alive Green Skull observed the events, confirming that everything was proceeding as planned. Marvel Comics, Bullets and Bracelets. Number 1. In this riveting tale, written by John Ostrander and illustrated by Gary Frank, Diana and Trevor confronted the Hand on a mission to rescue their kidnapped child, Ryan Castaglione. Deeper into hostile territory, their foes sprung a clever trap using a boom tube to transport them to perilous Apocalypse. While Trevor hunted for weapons, Diana sought her child within the orphanage. A fierce encounter with a formidable Big Titania left her surrounded by menacing female furies. Simultaneously, Trevor battled parademons and discovered a key in an old friend's tomb. Captured, Diana faced Thanacide, who demanded the location of the Infinity Links and threatened her son's life. Trevor intervened, equipped with Orion's Astroforce gear, turning the tables. Big Titania changed sides, betraying the Furies. Amid chaos, Granny Harkness offered Diana a dire choice. Thanacide attempted to unleash his Omega beams, but Diana unraveled his sinister plan. Her son Kanto had been sent back in time and brought up by Thanacide. Thanacide transported Titania and Kanto to New Asgard, where they met Highfather Odin. Back on Earth, Diana and Trevor reunited, triumphing over the most sinister of schemes, saving their son and rekindling their love. Marvel Comics, Magneto and the Magnetic Men. Number 1. This story was written by Tom Peyer and drawn by Barry Kitson. During Eric Magnus' adolescence, he unlocked his metamutant abilities, causing his brother Will Magnus to harbor fear and hatred towards him. Eric adopted the name Magneto and formed the Brotherhood of Mutants. The deep-seated rivalry between the Magnus brothers culminated in a tragic event when Will's Sentinels ruthlessly wiped out the Brotherhood, sparing only Magneto. In their memory, Magneto harnessed his magnetic powers to create the Magnetic Men, robotic allies advocating for mutant rights and opposing Sentinels. The team members were named Antimony, Bismuth, Cobalt, Iron, and Nickel, all under his control. Sinistron, the ultimate Sentinel, was created by Will Magnus with a mission to eliminate mutants. Sinistron trapped the Magnetic Men's minds in Zenosha. Magneto tried to defeat Sinistron, but the Sentinel reversed the attack. Cobalt, with the strongest electronic mind, dampened Sinistron's powers using radiation and channeled an Ersatz will into him. Magneto ultimately destroyed Sinistron's physical form, but the sentient entity transferred its consciousness into a drone, ensuring its survival. Marvel Comics, Speed Demon, Number 1. This story was written by Howard Mackie and James Felder and illustrated by Salvador Larroca. Jay Garrick, the original Speed Demon, was once bound by the demon Etrigan. In old age, he battled his arch-nemesis, the Night Spectre, and perished when Etrigan departed from his body. Blaze Allen, a stunt motorcycle rider at Quentin Carnival, faced a similar fate. The Night Spectre demanded his soul but was denied. On Blaze's wedding day, the Night Spectre coveted the soul of his wife, Iris, leading an obsessed Blaze to delve into magic. The wizard Merlin appeared and revealed that only the demon Etrigan could defeat the Night Spectre. Blaze chanted the incantation, "Gone, gone from the man, rise the demon Etrigan," and merged with Etrigan, becoming the new Speed Demon. He confronted the Night Spectre in the Sanctum of Lost Souls, but eventually the demon was separated from Blaze. Merlin merged Wally's soul with another Speed Demon, making him Kid Demon. Together, the demons defeated the Night Spectre, freeing all the captive souls. Marvel Comics, Spider-Boy, Number 1. This story was authored by Carl Kessel and illustrated by Mike Wieringo. An unknown foe stole DNA samples from Dr. Kurt Connors and merged them with reptilian DNA, creating King Lizard. Spider-Boy captured him, but during a clash with Bizarnage, King Lizard escaped and damaged the power system containing American Girl. It was revealed that at Cadmus, researcher Peter Parker contributed his genes to create a clone of himself. A lab explosion, caused by Kenny Gargan, aka Scorpican, claimed Peter's life. But the clone survived and gained spider-like abilities. General Thunderbolt Ross in charge adopted the boy as Pete Ross, his nephew. Tragically, Uncle Jen met the same fate as other iterations and was killed by a mugger. Determined to combat evil, Pete became Spider-Boy, also working as a Daily Bugle photographer. Later, King Lizard crashed into Hank Pym's lab where Pym particles enlarged him into a kaiju-like monster. Spider-Boy used a white dwarf star device from Ray Palmer to shrink King Lizard to a subatomic size. Marvel Comics X-Patrol #1. In the tale, crafted by Carl and Barbara Kessel and brought to life by the artwork of Roger Cruz, we encountered a gathering of superheroes at the long-abandoned X building. This heroic ensemble included Shatter Starfire, the valiant princess of Tamrosion, Beastling, a mutant with the ability to shapeshift, Paige Guthrie, an ordinary girl who transformed into a different superheroine whenever she dialed into the dial, Husk, Pharaoh Man, a mutant cyborg, and the dynamic duo of size-altering superheroines, Domino and Elastigirl. Following a brief skirmish among themselves, a mysterious figure concealed in the shadows intervened. This enigmatic character revealed himself as Niles Cable, a futuristic warrior, and bestowed upon the team the monitor X-Patrol. Together, they united their powers to thwart Dr. Doomsday's sinister scheme of conquering other dimensions by utilizing a portal to send armies through. Tragically, Niles Cable paid a heavy price in the climactic battle, losing the use of his lower body and becoming paraplegic. That successfully ended the first wave of Amalgam. Silver Surfer, Superman #1, 1996. This narrative unfolds with George Perez as the author and Ron Lim as the illustrator. It began with Superman and the Silver Surfer unexpectedly finding themselves in unfamiliar, bizarre settings. Out of the blue, Superman appeared on Krypton, while the Silver Surfer landed in Metropolis. A fierce confrontation with what appeared to be the Super Skrull ensued, but Superman soon realized he wasn't on Krypton, and his adversary was none other than the shape-shifting alien known as the Impossible Man. Simultaneously, the Silver Surfer discovered that the metropolis he was trapped in was a miniature version of Superman's home. He had to defend it against his attacker, Mr. Mxyzptlk. The revelation came that the opponent swap was a game initiated by Mxyzptlk and Impossible Man within a shared pocket universe. However, their intentions differed significantly, with the Impossible Man seeking harmless amusement while Mxyzptlk harbored sinister motives. The story evolved into an epic battle showcasing Impossible Man and Mr. Mxyzptlk, who switched places with iconic super characters from both DC and Marvel universes. In the end, a clever combination of efforts from the Impossible Man, Superman, and the Silver Surfer outwitted Mxyzptlk. With a touch of fifth dimension magic, everything was restored, and Superman and Silver Surfer bid friendly goodbyes. DC Marvel All Access, 1996-1997. DC and Marvel joined forces again to focus on Access and his adventures on DC's New Earth and Marvel's Earth 616. From writer Ron Mars and illustrator Jackson Geiss, this miniseries was released in October 1996 and continued till February 1997. Let's go through the adventures of Access, which surpassed multiple universes. All Access #1, The Crossing. While enjoying a date with his girlfriend Ming-Kuo Fan, Axel Asher, aka Access, suddenly experienced a vision of the cosmic conflict between the brothers representing Earth 616 and New Earth. This conflict had previously resulted in a temporary amalgamation of both universes, a situation he'd helped restore to normal. However, his peace was shattered when he saw Venom menacingly prowling Metropolis, fearing another universe-merging catastrophe. His concerns escalated when he spotted the Sanctum Sanctorum across the street, with a mysterious bald man in Chinese attire observing him. Axel quickly opened a portal to New Earth and found Venom causing chaos in Metropolis, where even Superman couldn't recognize him. When Venom nearly overpowered the Man of Steel, Access summoned Spider-Man through a portal, and together they subdued Venom, saving Superman despite the symbiote's escape. Upon Spider-Man's advice, Superman sent Access to Star Labs for a sonic generator, leading to a fierce battle where Access returned in time to destabilize the symbiote. After their victory, Spider-Man and Access sent Venom back to Earth 616. Inside the Sanctum Sanctorum, Doctor Strange ominously remarked that it was commencing. All Access #2, Two Sides of the Same Coin. Axel Asher, aka Access, was attempting to make amends with his girlfriend, Ming-Kuo Fan, after having ghosted her on their last date. However, their conversation was interrupted when Jubilee sought Access's assistance. Access tried to explain the situation to Ming, but she left in frustration. Jubilee proposed that Access take her to New Earth to meet Robin, with the condition that she'd help him reconcile with Ming in return. They used a portal to reach Gotham on a rainy night. Access left them alone, but he was suddenly ambushed and rendered unconscious by Two-Face. Two-Face then targeted Robin and Jubilee, prompting them to flee the area to regroup. Jubilee, disguised as Robin, surprised Two-Face, and with the assistance of the real Robin, managed to subdue him. Just as Access arrived at the scene, another unexpected adversary, Scorpion from Earth 616, attacked them. All Access number 3 in the Doctor's house. Just as Scorpion was about to attack, Batman intervened. After a fierce fight, Batman skillfully incapacitated Scorpion by targeting his vulnerable spots, regardless of the latter's formidable strength. Access discussed with Batman about the villains from Earth 616 appearing on New Earth. Access mentioned the existence of the Amalgam universe and the knowledge possessed by Dr. Strange Fate. Hoping to leverage Batman's detective skills, he accompanied Batman and Jubilee to Earth 616, where Jubilee went her separate way. Access and Batman went to Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum in the search for answers, but he didn't have any. Batman wanted to take Strange back to New Earth for questioning, but Jubilee intervened with the X-Men to stop Batman. A vicious fight started when Access jumped through the portal and brought the biggest superhero team with him to Earth 616, the Justice League. All Access number 4, Savior. A fierce battle erupted between the Justice League and the X-Men. Doctor Strange briefly sensed the ominous presence of an external force manipulating the situation, but then he suddenly lost consciousness. During this chaos, Access became aware that his girlfriend Ming was nearby. He teleported to her and urged her to distance herself from the conflict to avoid harm. Upon his return to the scene, the battle continued. Unexpectedly, a surge of magic coursed through Doctor Strange's body, causing him to convulse. From this magical outburst emerged the ultimate amalgam wizard from both Earths, known as Doctor Strange Fate. It was revealed that Strange Fate had been concealed within Doctor Strange's psyche ever since the Earths were separated, biding his time to banish Doctor Strange and make his triumphant return. Strange Fate merged superheroes from the Justice League and the X-Men, forming his unique version of the amalgam. Access concentrated his thoughts on Doctor Strange and rescued his astral form from a parallel universe. Doctor Strange returned and engaged Strange Fate in a magical showdown. Ultimately, Doctor Strange vanquished Strange Fate with his mystical abilities. He encapsulated Strange Fate in the entire original Amalgam universe within a magical sphere and placed it inside Access. With the threat neutralized, the heroes bid farewell to one another, each returning to their respective universes. Access reconciled with Ming, enjoying a period of happiness that had been long overdue. DC Marvel Unlimited Access, 1997. The next share of Access's universe-bending adventures continued in the next miniseries named Unlimited Access. It was written by Carl Kessel and illustrated by Pat Olive. The story takes place immediately after the All Access series. Unlimited Access number 1. No Time Like the Present. Perplexed by the lost time, Access encountered Ming at Empire State University, apologized and revealed his dual identity, although she remained skeptical. Chaos ensued as Mantis attacked the school. Access donned his costume, teleporting Ming to safety while Spider-Man confronted Mantis. Juggernaut and Wonder Woman joined the conflict. Teaming up, Spider-Man and Wonder Woman defeated the villains, who mysteriously vanished. Surprisingly, Diana had no memory of meeting Access. He helped her return to her own universe before facing the Savage Hulk. Struggling to open a portal, Access was bewildered when the late Hal Jordan Green Lantern intervened and subdued the Hulk. A discarded newspaper revealed he traveled back in time. Access sent the Hulk to the American southwest of Earth 616, but the Hulk escaped, leaving Access stranded. He opened another portal, landing in the Old West, where he met Jonah Hex and the Two-Gun Kid. He sent Two-Gun Kid home but lost him. Then he arrived in a devastated NYC, besieged by Sentinels, only to be defended by the Legion of Superheroes. Unlimited Access number 2. Let's do the time warp again. Access discovered that Logan and the X-Men were now under Magneto's leadership, and the Legion was stuck in the 1990s. Following Magneto's orders, Access assisted the Legion in crossing over to their correct timeline. When he attempted to negotiate with Magneto for additional time, he was forcefully propelled through a portal, arriving in Gotham City, where both Daredevil and Batman coexisted. Access's powers went haywire, causing him to traverse through timelines in both universes, ultimately encountering Morty on Earth 616. Morty, who gave Access his powers, disclosed that Access acted as a sort of temporal floodgate, and staying in one place caused the universal time overlaps. As a result, Access had to traverse between universes. Morty hastily departed, saying that Access needed to ground himself, but the Darkseid and the gods launched an attack. The Avengers intervened, and with a mere thought from Access, the JLA materialized out of thin air to join the fray. Unfortunately, Devilance manipulated the minds of both the JLA and Avengers, inciting the JLA-Avengers War. Unlimited Access number 3. The Greatest Heroes of All Time. Amidst the JLA and Avengers locked-in battle, Access recognized the only individual capable of halting the conflict: Superman. He called forth Superman's blue energy avatar, explaining his presence from a decade ago on Earth 616. With his energy bolt, Superman brought both teams to a standstill and mediated with them. Meanwhile, Darkseid had aligned with Magneto and the Brotherhood from that era, launching an assault. As the heroes grappled with the villainous alliances, Access mentally summoned members from the Teen Titans and Young Justice teams, along with the classic X-Men for support. However, the villains abruptly retreated, hinting at an alternate agenda. The heroes then discovered the alliance between Darkseid and Magneto. To combat this formidable pair, Access initiated a process of merging the heroes, crafting his own unified team. Unlimited Access number 4. Combined Forces. Access led his Amalgam team, including Red Wing, Wonder Wasp, Green Goliath, Captain America Jr., Thor-El, Jean Black, and Quick Freeze in an assault on Darkseid and Magneto's base. They were unexpectedly ambushed by the Brotherhood of Evil Gods, Darkseid's own hybrid beings created from mutants and new gods. A brutal conflict ensued, while other heroes defended Earth against the combined attack of Darkseid and Magneto. Access's team found themselves overpowered, and Darkseid disclosed his identity as a future version of Access who had aligned with Darkseid, giving him knowledge of Access's tactics. The two Accesses engaged in a battle across time and space, with the present Access eventually merging with his future self to gain control. He returned to face Darkseid, who, frustrated by Access thwarting his plans to abduct Ming, summoned Juggernaut and Mantis from the timeline. The confrontation erupted, and Darkseid attacked Juggernaut and Magneto pitched in to stop him. Witnessing Magneto's full-scale war with Darkseid, Access intervened, separating everyone and returning them to their respective timelines. Darkseid departed, vowing to one day reshape Access in his own image. In the end, Access confessed his love to Ming, signifying that he'd found his anchor on Earth 616 and embarked on his sacred duty to traverse between universes. This marked the end of the adventures of Access, and both DC and Marvel reverted back to two traditional crossovers. Batman and Captain America, 1997. John Byrne penned and illustrated an intriguing Elseworlds tale that brought Batman and Captain America, along with their sidekicks Robin and Bucky, together to confront the Joker's sinister plot in Gotham. This story was set on Earth 3839. As they delved into the Joker's machinations, they stumbled upon the Gotham Project, a secret US nuclear warhead construction effort. Initially suspecting Bruce Wayne's involvement in funding the Joker, the military assigned Steve Rogers to shadow Wayne. After a clash, Bruce and Steve discovered each other's secret identities and joined forces. Batman teamed up with Bucky, while Captain America partnered with Robin. Their investigation unveiled the Joker's ties to the Red Skull, who served Hitler's interests. Red Skull sought to detonate the warhead, paving the way for the Third Reich's rule. Batman and Captain America thwarted the plan by attacking the plane transporting the warhead. Joker, upon learning of Red Skull's allegiance, attempted to stop him. Ultimately, Joker and Red Skull plunged into the ocean with the warhead, causing its detonation. Despite the chaos, Batman, Captain America, Robin, and Bucky emerged victorious. In the epilogue, Dick took up the mantle of Batman, and Bruce Jr. became the new Robin, while Bucky joined them in rescuing Captain America from his icy confinement, marking his triumphant return. Daredevil, Batman, Eye for an Eye, 1997. D.G. Chichester penned this Elseworlds graphic novel, complemented by Scott McDaniel's artwork. Set on crossover Earth 7642, the story united Daredevil and Batman in their mission to thwart Two-Face, who had forged an alliance with Marvel's Mr. Hyde. Batman tracked these villains to New York, coinciding with Daredevil's pursuit of them for computer equipment thefts. Initially at odds, Batman and Daredevil engaged in physical combat before reconciling and choosing to collaborate. Two-Face and Mr. Hyde stole a computer chip with human brain-like capabilities, requiring organic brain tissue for its housing. Two-Face's plan involved inducing Mr. Hyde to consume a drug, speeding up chip formation and leading to Hyde's death, allowing Two-Face to extract the chip. A revelation surfaced that Harvey Dent and Matt Murdock were former friends with differing views on criminal rehabilitation. Embracing Dent's perspective, Daredevil persuaded Two-Face to spare Hyde during a confrontation. Two-Face agreed to help Daredevil and Batman cure Mr. Hyde of the drugs in his system before disappearing, attributing this act to the enduring influence of Harvey Dent. The story concluded with the heroes unmasked, as Bruce Wayne cautioned Matt Murdock against returning to Gotham, a proposition that Murdock interpreted as a dare. Amalgam Universe, Wave 2, 1997. In June 1997, 12 more tales of Amalgam Universe were released, 6 from DC and 6 from Marvel. DC Comics, Bat-Thing, number 1. Larry Hama penned the story, and Rodolfo DiMaggio provided the illustrations. The narrative introduced Kirk, who grappled with a terminal illness, leading him to pursue unconventional methods. He conducted gene splicing experiments on himself, merging plant and animal DNA. To his amazement, the treatment not only cured his ailment, but also induced a significant transformation, morphing him into a bat-like entity known as the Bat-Thing. Inspector Bullock of the New Gotham Police found himself deeply involved in a murder investigation which centered on a drug dealer subjected to brutal mauling. Initial suspicions initially pointed towards the Bat-Thing as the perpetrator. However, fresh evidence came to light, exposing Fat Freddy, an escaped convict nursing a personal vendetta against Bullock. Fat Freddy sought vengeance by targeting the Salis family, who were under Bullock's protection. As the inquiry advanced, the police uncovered the truth that the Bat-Thing had been unjustly accused of the drug dealer's murder, falling prey to Fat Freddy's cunning scheme to shift blame. Despite being wounded by Bullock's gunfire, the Bat-Thing fearlessly confronted Fat Freddy, ensuring the safety of the Salis family. Subsequently, he retreated to his concealed laboratory in the swamp, resuming his solitary existence. DC Comics Dark Claw Adventures No. 1. Written and illustrated by Ty Templeton, the story revolved around Ras, an ancient meta-mutant with a sinister plan to eradicate all meta-mutants on Earth. To execute this malevolent scheme, Ras partnered with his daughter, Lady Talia, and developed a deadly virus to release into the atmosphere, threatening meta-mutants worldwide. Dark Claw, a formidable hero, opposed Ra's plan and engaged in a sword fight with him in the desert. During the battle, Dark Claw was bitten by a poisonous scorpion. Ras, along with Ubawang, boarded a plane containing the virus. In a final attempt to thwart their plans, Dark Claw shot a rocket at the plane, causing it to crash and seemingly ending Ras' apocalypse reign of terror. While the virus was destroyed, Ras's body was never found. Talia, severely injured while attempting to save Ras from the plane crash, had to undergo cybernetic adamantium implants to survive. Her sole agenda became killing Dark Claw, leading her to abduct Sparrow and devise a complex plan. In their final confrontation, Dark Claw reminded Talia of their past love, and she struck him, only to immediately express remorse. Dark Claw's healing abilities allowed him to return, and he implored Talia to see the light and return to a life of good. Repentant, Talia abandoned her enmity and reunited with Dark Claw, giving their love a second chance. DC Comics Generation Hex No. 1. In this story, written by Peter Milligan and drawn by Adam Polina, Jono and his family arrived in the town of Humanity, where a deep-seated hatred for malforms thrived. Despite his efforts to gain acceptance, he faced constant rejection. Tragically, Jono's mother died while giving birth to his sister, as the doctors callously refused to help. Later, the town's children set fire to the Hex family home, destroying their possessions and claiming Jono's father's life. Amid the chaos, Jono escaped, but suffered a horrifying manifestation of his malform power, which obliterated his lower jaw, leaving a scarred chasm on his face. He was forcibly exiled from Humanity. As Jono grew, he developed physical strength and a penchant for cruelty. Eventually, he formed a group of malform outlaws known as Generation Hex, comprising Madame Banshee, Johnny Random, Skin Hunter, White Whip, Retribution, and Twins Trigger. All the marshals, led by Colonel Bat Trask with the help of his Razormen, had set out on a quest to kill all malforms in the West. Jono and his team averted them and arrived at Humanity, with Jono posing as a human who saved others from his own team of malforms. Jono inspired the townsfolk to dress up as malforms, only to get them all killed by the Razormen. With his revenge fulfilled and Humanity destroyed, Jono and his team rode to Mexico. DC Comics JLX Unleashed No. 1. Christopher Priest authored the issue with artwork by Oscar Jimenez. The Hellfire League subjected Genghis Khan's finger to flames for ruthlessness. They subjected the tusk of Kredguth, known for terrorizing Talos 4, granting the warrior enhanced strength and power. The Flame of Cessation was employed to empower the champion to bring death, along with the use of a personality enhancer. The amalgamation of these elements gave rise to the ultimate evil, Fin Fang Foom. Fang decimated the Hellfire League and embarked on a mission to annihilate all meta-mutants. He launched an assault on Super Soldier, prompting Amazon and Mr. X to gather JLX in an attempt to confront him. Despite their valiant efforts, they couldn't halt Fang's rampage. During this ordeal, Ray Summers, also known as Apollo, was in a catatonic coma. Nevertheless, he managed to reawaken by utilizing his meta-mutant powers to absorb solar radiation, drawing strength from Fang and ultimately defeating him. This transformation resulted in Apollo's mutation into a radiant being composed of pure energy, bringing an end to the catastrophe. DC Comics Lobo the Duck No. 1. In this story, written by Alan Grant and drawn by Val Simix, Lobo the Duck awoke in a destroyed Manhattan, where he witnessed the tragic demise of countless heroes who had enlisted Lobo to confront a hidden adversary. Despite the chaos, Lobo was resolute in his determination to carry out his mission. At the subterranean diner, Lobo engaged in a fierce battle with Ambush the Lunatic, and consumed him and stirred a heated confrontation with Ambush's female companions. Elsewhere, armed assailants targeted high-tech gravity labs, took a hostage, and absconded with a gravity-altering device. Undeterred, Lobo forged ahead in his relentless pursuit of the enigmatic villain, encountering Beverline, Jonas Turnip, Gammarola, and Billy the Millie. His quest grew increasingly tumultuous as familial disputes and romantic entanglements took center stage. Meanwhile, Gold Kidney Lady unveiled her malevolent plan to harness the gravity-altering machine for global destruction, commanding an army of kidnoids. Lobo entered the fray, battling the kidnoids. Ultimately, he confronted Gold Kidney Lady, subjecting her to a torrent of machine gun fire. Her lifeless body plummeted onto the gravity machine, inadvertently activating it and emitting powerful energy beams that perilously drew the moon closer to Earth. DC Comics Super Soldier, Man of War, #1. The narrative, written by Dave Gibbons and Mark Waid and drawn by Dave Gibbons, commenced with Super Soldier bidding farewell to the All-Star Winner Squadron as he embarked on an undercover mission alongside Private Jimmy Olsen. Their objective was to safeguard a valuable cargo from falling into the clutches of the Nazis. During the mission, Super Soldier forged an alliance with Sergeant Rock and his Howling Commandos. Major Zemo, however, had already developed a prototype for his destructive war wheel. To thwart this perilous invention, Rock and the Commandos launched an assault on Zemo's base. In the midst of this chaos, the cargo was stolen, resulting in Super Soldier recovering a few warheads while losing the original shipment. Rock and his commandos found themselves imprisoned in Zemo's stronghold, but a daring rescue operation led by Peggy Carter, disguised as a Frenchman, set them free. Super Soldier joined their battle, apprehending the Nazis, though Zemo managed to elude capture. It was eventually unveiled that Zemo was collaborating with Lex Luthor. The concealed cargo held a rocket ship containing a valuable chunk of kryptonite. This revelation hinted at Luthor's intentions to construct Ultra Metallo, a formidable foe designed to vanquish Super Soldier. Marvel Comics Challengers of the Fantastic, #1. This story was written by Carl Kessel and drawn by Tom Grummett. Sue, Ace Storm, a fearless S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, Reed Prof. Richards, a brilliant scientist from Cadmus, Johnny Red Storm, a daring youth and Sue's younger brother, and Ben Rocky Grimm, a strong-willed senator, came together for a covert space mission, testing a shuttle designed to withstand the sun's cosmic rays. Victor Von Doom, out of sheer jealousy, sabotaged the shuttle, resulting in a crash on Earth. Remarkably, everyone survived the ordeal. Having been granted a second chance at life, they chose to dedicate their remaining time to serving humanity, taking on challenges that no one else dared. Later, Uatu the Guardian arrived and warned them of Galactiac's imminent threat to consume Earth. Fortunately, their blind friend June Masters managed to persuade Galactiac's herald, the Silver Racer, to assist the challengers. During the confrontation, Galactiac transformed Ben Rocky Grimm into a Rocky Punisher. Uatu guided Johnny Storm to a location within the machine to nullify Galactiac's effects. Reed, using his octopus arms, saved Sue and himself from Ben's path, allowing Johnny to destroy Galactiac's machine, returning Ben to his normal state and freezing Galactiac. However, just as they believed the threat was over, Galactiac's head separated from his body. In another dimension, Dr. Doomsday discovered the Silver Racer and absorbed his power, all in pursuit of vengeance against the challengers of the Fantastic. Marvel Comics The Exciting X-Patrol, #1. Barbara Kessel penned the story and Brian Hitch provided the illustrations. It commenced with a fierce battle between Shatter Starfire and Niles Cable against the Broodlings. Recognizing the grave danger, Niles advised Shatter Starfire to retreat and seek refuge with the X-Patrol, a decision they made reluctantly. Upon returning to the X-Patrol, Shatter Starfire appraised them of their perilous predicament. The X-Patrol valiantly confronted the Broodlings at Zenosha, racing to locate Niles and escape. Their journey led them to Brother Brood, who was on the verge of conducting a ceremony to implant Niles with broodlings. Jericho's telepathic abilities provided a glimmer of hope by confirming that Niles was still alive. However, a devastating explosion, initiated by Niles Cable under the influence of the Brood technovirus, incapacitated them. The team briefly contemplated ending Niles' life as a means to prevent his global domination, but they were met by another destructive blast, leaving Jericho to face Niles alone. During their confrontation, Jericho's rocky skin shattered, revealing his true identity as Niles Dayspring, a younger alternate version of Niles. Niles Dayspring deployed his soul self to cleanse Niles, ultimately defeating Brother Brood and the Brood within Cable. Nonetheless, the victory over the Brood unleashed the technovirus within Cable, endangering his life. In an unexpected turn of events, Ravenir intervened, healing him from the virus, eliciting a mix of shock and joy among the team. Marvel Comics Iron Lantern #1. Written by Kurt Busiek and drawn by Paul Smith, the tale began with Hal Stark, also known as Iron Lantern, transporting the prisoner Hector to Oa, the living planet. There, Hector was to be incarcerated below its surface. Along the way, Lantern reflected on his own origins. His flight simulator had been tampered with by a mysterious green light, which guided him to a crash site where the lifeless body of the alien Romancer lay. Within the wreckage, he discovered a power battery, which he used to craft an armored suit, preparing himself to combat the aliens responsible responsible for Sir's demise. Upon returning to Earth, Hal rescued Pepper's S-41 when she lost control of her aircraft. During an evening gathering, Pepper's father, Senator Ferris, indirectly criticized her for her loss of control, leading to her outburst of anger. Outdoors, she encountered a floating gem that, upon touching, awakened a completely new personality within her, Madame Sapphire. She conjured a shark monster and released it on a path of destruction. While Hal confronted the shark, Sapphire kidnapped Senator Ferris. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the treacherous Kyle O'Brien pilfered the power battery, disconnecting Hal from the power source of his armor. Nevertheless, Hal managed to destroy the shark from the inside. As Stark plummeted from space with his armor melting, the shocking revelation emerged that all the events on Earth had been orchestrated by Mandarin Estro, and Kyle was his accomplice. Marvel Comics, The Magnetic Men featuring Magneto, number 1. The narrative was penned by Tom Payer and illustrated by Barry Kitson. It kicked off with Magneto bringing his Magnetic Men back to life following their demise at the hands of the Impossible Mud. Assisted by Mr. Mastermind, he bestowed civilian appearances and identities upon the Magnetic Men before releasing them into the world. He resolved to confront his deranged brother, Will Magnus, alone on the dinosaur island of Krakoa. However, the Sinister Society launched an assault on the Magnetic Men, taking them captive on Krakoa. There, they were placed in a state of stasis by Chemodam and Quasi-Modox, 2 of Will's creations. Nevertheless, Magneto stormed their hideout, liberating the Magnetic Men. Upon learning that Chemodam and Quasi-Modox were being held against their will, he invited them to join his team. Reunited, Magneto and his Magnetic Men continued their mission to locate and depose Will Magnus. Marvel Comics, Spider-Boy Team-Up number 1. The story was written by R.K. Sternsel and drawn by Ladron. During a life-and-death battle with Skavulture, Spider-Boy's world took a surreal turn when a cosmic cube halted time, transporting him to the year 2099. There, he met the powerful legion of galactic guardians, who had been inspired by his heroic legacy. However, a threat loomed. If Spider-Boy stayed for more than 9 minutes, a catastrophic chronal collapse was feared. Their attempts to return him to his fateful moment were foiled by the Frightful Five's destruction of the Times Square generator. In this critical juncture, 2 mysterious figures presented divergent choices to Spider-Boy. He opted to leap 5 years into a post-apocalyptic future, where the Legion revealed that the chronal collapse had occurred, insisting he must return to the origin point. With determination, Spider-Boy journeyed back and met a rebooted version of the Legion. He aided them in building the Phantom Negative Zone projector. He was successfully sent back to his fight with Skavulture, defeating his foe with a close dodge and support from the Yankee Legion. However, Miguel from the Legion was fatally hurt, and he was saved by sending him to the Phantom Negative Zone. Their respite was short-lived when Kang the Time Conqueror abducted Spider-Boy, aiming to control all of time by splitting him into Spider-Man and Superboy. A future Spider-Boy joined forces with the present one to defeat Kang, who turned out to be the villainous Chrono King Tut. They were then sent back to the present. The shocking revelation that Spider-Boy 2099 was Miguel Gund, pulled from the Negative Zone and cured by Spider Serum, left Spider-Boy perplexed. As the Legion bid their farewell, Spider-Boy reflected on his incredible journey. Marvel Comics, Thorion of the New Asgards, number 1. Keith Giffen authored this tale, and John Romita Jr. provided the illustrations. Ragnarok, often dubbed the God's Twilight, or the ultimate clash between deities and malevolent forces, was at hand. The New Asgards were engaged in a conflict with Thanoside Steppenwolf legions, who had breached Asgardian defenses to infiltrate Odin's chamber. On the battlefield, Thorion battled the Steppenwolf legions and vanquished several of their soldiers. Meanwhile, Thanoside monitored Thorion alongside Lok Desard. Inquiring about Lok Desard's intentions regarding his half-brother, Lok Desard elucidated his requirement for the Mother Cube. Later, Lok Desard gained possession of the Mother Cube with aspirations to conclude Ragnarok. Thorion confronted his half-brother, and they conversed about Lok Desard's exchange for the Hammer of the Old Gods, securing a truce between Apocalypse and New Asgard. Lok Desard employed the Mother Cube to summon Surtur. Thorion's hammer emitted a blinding radiance, leading to a massive explosion and apparently vanquishing Surtur, leaving his hammer on the ground. In the aftermath, Thorion underwent a transformation, becoming a living energy entity known as the Celestial, endowed with power by the Infinity Essence and the Astro Force. Thus ended Wave 2 of the Amalgam Adventures. The Incredible Hulk vs. Superman, 1999. This story was written by Roger Stern and illustrated by Steve Rude. On Earth 7642, Superman's memories of his first encounter with the Hulk resurfaced as he found Lois watching a news report about the Hulk. Superman had previously met the Hulk in Arizona while investigating seismic activity, leading to a fierce battle where the Hulk bested him and fled, leaving the area in chaos. To further investigate, Superman adopted the persona of Clark Kent alongside his rival Lois Lane, with only Rick Jones aware of Banner's secret secret identity. At a scientific facility, Clark and Banner encountered Lex Luthor and Betty Ross, raising suspicions about Lex's intentions. It was revealed that Lex aimed to use Banner's gamma gun to eliminate both Superman and the Hulk. When Lex's android Hulk kidnapped Betty, Banner transformed into the Hulk to rescue her, leading to a misunderstanding and a fight with Superman. Later, they learned about the android ruse, but General Ross threatened to use the gamma gun on both heroes as directed by Lex. In a crucial moment, the Hulk and Superman teamed up to destroy the gamma gun, with the Hulk absorbing the leaking radiation. Hulk later vented the radiation and returned to Banner, and Lex was captured by the authorities. In the present time, Superman and Lois reflected on Banner's transformation into the Hulk, his marriage to Betty, and her tragic death from radiation poisoning. Bruce Banner, mourning Betty's loss, watched a Hulk broadcast in the rain and walked away. Superman, Fantastic Four, 1999. This story was written by Dan Jurgens and illustrated by Dan Jurgens and Art Thibert. In the narrative, a mysterious object landed in Metropolis, prompting Superman to investigate. He discovered it was a nuclear bomb with a countdown, which he disabled. However, an alien crystal appeared, projecting an image of Jor-El, revealing that Krypton's destruction was caused by Galactus, alarming Superman. Seeking help, he contacted the Fantastic Four. Superman explained the threat to the Fantastic Four, but the crystal released an entity that attacked them. An unknown satellite appeared, enveloping Superman in energy. They discovered the crystal's origin in Galactus. Henry Henshaw, the cyborg Superman, admitted Galactus designed it to make Superman his herald with power cosmic. Superman and Reed were teleported to Galactus. The Fantastic Four reluctantly allied with Henshaw to save them. They adapted their spaceship and confronted Galactus, but retreated after an intense battle. Superman broke free from Galactus's control and, with the help of the Four, reprogrammed Galactus's equipment to redirect his energy into a planet. They bargained with Galactus to spare inhabited planets in return for restoring his powers. Galactus revealed he didn't destroy Krypton, revealing it all to be Henshaw's plan, as he wanted to become his herald. Galactus then transformed Henshaw into an inanimate alloy. With the threat neutralized, Superman thanked the Fantastic Four and gave his cape to Franklin as a gift. Batman Daredevil, King of New York, 1999. This narrative continued the storyline from Daredevil Batman Eye for an Eye, crafted by Alan Grant and Eduardo Barreto. In this tale, Daredevil tracked Catwoman to Gotham after she stole confidential files about Kingpin and handed them to Scarecrow. Batman, asserting his jurisdiction over Gotham, intervened, prompting a clash of ideologies. Realizing Scarecrow's grand plans for New York, Batman and Daredevil joined forces to combat this common adversary. The plot unveils Scarecrow's sinister scheme. He aimed to control Kingpin's arms deals, using his fear-inducing gas to manipulate the crime lord's henchmen. Seeking to become the King of New York, Scarecrow unleashed chaos, violence, and fear across the city. Kingpin thwarted Scarecrow's assassination attempt and confronted him atop the Statue of Liberty, where Scarecrow planned to release the fear gas. Batman and Daredevil intervened, leading to a fierce battle. Scarecrow deployed his fear gas on Daredevil, but the man without fear resisted its effects with laughter. They captured Scarecrow, but Kingpin escaped, threatening to expose their identities and take legal action. While they achieved a partial victory, the battle was not entirely won. JLA Avengers, 2003. In 1979, DC and Marvel planned a crossover series featuring both teams, written by Jerry Conway and illustrated by George Perez. The initial story involved time travel with Marvel's Kang the Conqueror and DC's The Lord of Time. Roy Thomas was brought in to script the book based on Conway's plot. However, the project was halted around 1981, reportedly due to then Marvel editor-in-chief Jim Shooter. In 2002, a new agreement between the two companies led to a fresh story penned by Kurt Busiek and illustrated by George Perez, and the rest was history. JLA Avengers, A Journey into Mystery. This epic narrative opened with a cosmic spectacle as a colossal pair of penetrating eyes looked down upon multiple universes, demanding the truth. Failing to provide an answer, the realms faced instantaneous annihilation by waves of decay. In the face of this cataclysm, the Grand Master, the oldest entity within the Marvel Universe, stepped forward to confront the enigmatic destroyer, revealing their identity as Krona from the DC Universe, driven by an unquenchable quest for the ultimate truth. Simultaneously, an intriguing convergence occurred as villains from the DC Universe inexplicably materialized in the Marvel Universe, only to be confronted and defeated by the superheroes. The Flash briefly traversed into the Marvel Universe but was swiftly compelled to return to his own realm, where the absence of the Speed Force rendered his powers inert. Grandmaster appeared at the JLA Tower. Bound by the unyielding lasso of truth, he revealed the weakening barriers separating their universes. To restore equilibrium, the JLA had to secure 6 specific artifacts from the Marvel Universe: the Ultimate Nullifier, the Evil Eye of Avalon, the Wand of Watum, the Casket of Ancient Winters, the Cosmic Cube, and the Infinity Gauntlet. The JLA agreed, and the Flash assisted them in navigating the vibrational barriers to reach the Marvel Universe. Adding complexity to the narrative, Metron from the DC universe encountered the Avengers, tasking them with acquiring 6 essential artifacts from his realm to avert a looming catastrophe. These artifacts were the Spear of Destiny, the Book of Eternity, the Orb of Ra, the Medusa Mask, the Bell, Jar, and Wheel of the Demons 3, and the Green Lantern power battery of Kyle Rayner. Metron equipped them with a Mother Box, enabling teleportation of DC's New Earth. All these iconic heroes ventured into each other's universes in pursuit of these invaluable artifacts. Tensions mounted, and clashes of ideals and values led to growing animosity. While the JLA and the Avengers faced off in Metropolis, the Grandmaster and Metron contemplated the broader implications of these cosmic events. Avengers, JLA, Contest of Champions. It was revealed that when Grandmaster encountered Krona, he inquired about his desire. Krona revealed that he was an immortal scientist who had been banished to exist through eternity because he tried to probe the hand in Big Bang and it resulted in the death of many. His wish was to uncover the ultimate truth, the origin of everything responsible for creating the universe. He threatened to unleash a probe capable of destroying the Marvel Universe if he didn't receive the answer he sought. Grandmaster proposed a wager. He suggested a competition involving the heroes from both DC and Marvel, tasked with obtaining artifacts. If his universe emerged victorious, Krona would have to seek answers in a different universe. Furthermore, Grandmaster offered to reveal the name of the oldest entity existing before the Big Bang. Krona accepted the wager, but insisted on exchanging champions from the 2 universes. Later on, as the heroes battled to collect artifacts from each other's universes, Batman and Captain America joined forces. They obtained a time cycle, traversing the wreckage of multiple universes before arriving at Grandmaster's base, where they met Atom. There, they learned about the cosmic wager and the potential destruction of the Marvel Universe if the Avengers emerged as winners. In the final showdown on Savage Island, Captain America aided Batman in securing the last artifact, leading to the Marvel Universe being declared the champion. Grandmaster urged Krona to depart, but Krona attacked him and demanded the name of the oldest being. He learned of Galactus and pulled him there and kept attacking and persistently demanding the truth. In the midst of the conflict, Grandmaster merged the artifacts from both universes, causing a profound alteration of all of reality. JLA Avengers Strange Adventures. A fresh reality emerged, wherein Marvel occupied Earth 1 and DC became Earth 2. They had a long history of collaboration and frequently visited each other's planets. However, memories from Superman and Captain America's past began resurfacing, yet the ever-shifting reality worked to suppress their recollections. Even long-deceased Barry and Hal resurfaced, taking on the roles of the Flash and Green Lantern. As reality continued to change, a point was reached where no alteration could prevent Superman and Cap from accusing each other of causing the ongoing reality distortion. Their collision ultimately shattered the fabric of reality. The true nature of the fractured reality became apparent. An imprisoned Krona had broken free and was attempting to merge the 2 Earths. Wanda and Hal harnessed their powers to connect the minds of all the heroes and temporarily repel Krona. The heroes regrouped at the Avengers Mansion, where the Phantom Stranger guided them to a weakened Grandmaster. Grandmaster disclosed that he'd used the artifacts to imprison Krona between the 2 Earths. However, the fundamental differences between the Earths made Krona's confinement unstable, leading to his escape. Krona now aimed to unite the worlds once more, triggering a Big Bang with the hope of witnessing the birth of a new universe, much like Galactus. Then, the Grandmaster presented the heroes with the vision of the reality they needed to restore and met his demise. The heroes united and prepared for the ultimate battle, while Metron observed. Avengers JLA, The Brave and the Bold. Krona revealed to Metron that similar to the Hand of Creation in the DC universe, there was a voice in Marvel. Marvel had eternity as its sentience, while Kismet represented DC. Krona's ambitious plan involved tearing them asunder through the inflation of a Big Bang, with the intention of extracting the secret of creation from them. Simultaneously, heroes from both Earths stood together to rescue people from the cataclysm triggered by the joining. The Justice League of America and the Avengers collaborated in rebuilding an Atlantean vessel, energizing it with Mjolnir, chaos magic, and the cosmic treadmill to manipulate time and probability. Their objective was to reach Krona's stronghold, constructed from the remnants of Galactus. Captain America took charge as both teams advanced against Krona's armies and the fluctuating chronal instabilities, which transformed their appearances to those from different eras. Nevertheless, they persevered with unwavering determination. Krona sought Metron's assistance in extracting the avatars, but Metron declined and departed. Superman, wielding Cap's shield and Thor's hammer, shattered Krona's final line of defense, just as Krona was about to employ his power sphere, composed of artifacts from both Earths. Hawkeye shot a TNT arrow into its core, leading to its destruction. This event generated a black hole that engulfed Krona. The chronal chaos subsided, returning the superheroes to their current states. Spectre played a crucial role in holding the Earths apart, while Kismet and Eternity were separated. With farewells exchanged, the heroes were restored to their respective realities. Ultimately, Metron and a rejuvenated Grandmaster were observed guarding the cosmic egg attentively, which contained Krona's essence at its core. Marvelous verdict. That's all for today, folks. After the JLA Avengers crossover, there were no further collaborations between DC and Marvel. However, in the climactic pages of Doomsday Clock issue number 12, a hint was dropped about an impending secret crisis set to unfold on July 10th, 2030. In this crisis, Superman will face off against Thor, and Hulk will make a heroic sacrifice to protect Superman from menacing invaders. Although this story is still in the future, rest assured that our channel will be here to provide extensive coverage when it finally arrives. Until the next ride, my maniacs. If you liked our video, please let us know in the comments section. Please like, share, and subscribe.